All right. Hey, guys. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, September 7th. This is episode 238 of The TED Show. Let us know you can hear us or see us. We have a group next to us that are unfortunately being super loud and clapping for each other, and so it's not
really
for us.
clapping for us.
They're really clapping for us. There he is. This is good
Yes.
stuff. There he is. So let us know you can hear us or see us. Super important. You guys might know the history of this. I did a full show once. People watched. People saw the whole thing. You couldn't hear it, and nobody told me. So we did an entire show, 30 minutes. Bob Moylan says, we're good. All right, so, hey, Bob, thanks for tuning in. All right, so this is Shawn Layton right here
What's up?
with the beautiful bow tie and his partner in crime, partner on so many levels, Jimi Hendrickson. I like that name, Jimi Hendrix, basically, right? Do you ever get that?
Hendrickson.
I know it's Hendrick's son, but... and they are the property boys, at least at this point, that's what they are. So we are going to talk about all things real estate, but much more than that. They've got a great story. They obviously have a great look, right? And I want to talk about those bow ties. So welcome them to the show.
Thank you
guys,
for having
let's have
us.
them. I'm so happy. So we had to have a meeting to talk about this, but what was great about the meeting was we still had cocktails there too. So, but they have such a great energy, and so when I actually saw your social media, I thought these are great people. I'd love to have you on the show because the show is all about doing things differently, showing people how to do things differently, how to work in your market, and your market happens to be real estate, but people can take the principles that you have and apply them anywhere else. And then, of course, they have the coolest bow ties on the planet. So I'm happy. I'm so happy to have you guys here. All right, so give us a little background. The audience always wants to know. I mean, you don't have to start out with I was born and then by first grade we're 20 minutes in. Give me a little background on you guys, maybe your individual backgrounds and then how you came together to finally form the Property Boys and get into real estate.
Jimmy?
Well, I was born, and then
Here it goes.
I started working at Publix after graduating high school, and I made a career, 17-year career, working at Publix.
How are you old enough to have had a 17-year
First and only
career?
job, by the way.
First and only
Okay,
job.
so you started when you were 10.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good to know.
My mom used to drop me off at the store, and I would just start bagging groceries, and eventually they
They
decided
figured,
to hire
all right,
me.
we're going to hire you.
Yeah.
Who's this kid? We got to pay him something. So you had a whole corporate career.
Corporate career, yeah.
You worked for Publix for 17 years, and then you also had a corporate career, Shawn.
Yes.
You worked for Macy's.
That's correct. I worked for Macy's as
See,
a
I
visual...
do listen.
Nah, thanks, yeah. I was a visual merchandising manager for Macy's for about 10 years throughout Central Florida. I traveled opening stores, setting Christmas in New York, things like
Love
that.
that.
So,
Macy's
yeah.
windows,
Yep.
right? All of that
Yes,
stuff, setting
beautiful.
up that.
Yep.
Gosh, that's the one thing about New York. If you're, people get this funny idea about New York that it's also amazing during the holidays, and it can be. But you really don't want to stand 10 people deep at the Macy's Day Parade.
No.
You're not sure if you want to be there at Rockefeller Center when all the other million people are when they're lighting the tree. But the Macy's windows, oh my God, they're just, and the whole display during Christmas time is insane.
So if you see Christmas at Macy's in September, that was me.
That's okay.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'd rather see that. Like the Halloween stuff in June, I thought I was going to lose my mind. We've got to give it a little break. But yeah, my kids all love Christmas, so they're ready to talk about it 24/7. All right, so you did that, but at some point you said, all right, I'm going to do something different. I don't want to be in my industry anymore for whatever reason. And you're welcome to share how that story went down. How did you get into real estate?
Well, I think a collective, it was over a period of a year. I mean, we came from a corporate background, but the companies were so good to us. The support system, the companies, the benefits, everything were so good to us. But at some point, we came to realize that we wanted to go into business for ourselves.
Sure.
We wanted to be able to run our own business, make our own schedule, and promote ourselves. Through those corporate backgrounds, we were able to give back to the community, and giving back to the community was a big reason why we wanted to go into business for ourselves, because we wanted to give back to our own local community, and that kind of stemmed from all the events that surrounded Pulse.
So I was going to ask you, so a lot of people want to give back, but then they cut a check, they don't necessarily get involved. Why was that a motivation? And so Pulse, obviously,
Yes.
because it impacted the community overall, but it
Yeah.
certainly impacted the LBGT community.
Yeah.
I think we all felt it. Just I think even when I talk about it, you get choked up, but most people do. So how did that? So was that kind of a change in trajectory? That's the thing that made you kind of go, all right, I need to do something different. Plus, being your own boss, right?
Right.
Being your own boss is different as you're giving. If you're working for the man, those are old '60s terms. You're working for the man, and you're giving. Hey, Joy, and hey, everybody who said hi. By the way, I'm sorry I missed it. You're working for somebody else, but you're not. First of all, you're working for them, making money for them. You're not making as much money as you know you're making them, which is super frustrating.
Yeah. Right.
Then you also don't get to express yourself creatively. It's not your business. You might act like it. You might work 80 hours a week like it is, but really, it's not your business.
It's their brand.
It's their brand and their business.
Yes.
And you're also in the end contributing to organizations in the community that the company or organization you're working for wants you to contribute to,
Correct.
versus things that we believe
We
in
choose.
and that we choose to.
I think people, so I know what you're saying, so I'm going to tell you my experience so that you don't have to come out and say it. But what happens with large corporations is they I say make you, I can say that, but they encourage you to
Yes.
contribute to big charities that may or may not be in line with what you believe in or represent you. And so it's very frustrating when you are a philanthropic person, when you want to give back, and your big corporation that you work for is putting you in a place where you're contributing to something that you don't agree with. And so it can be incredibly frustrating, and that's not picking on any big corporation, but I think you really need to give people more choice, my opinion. So if you have a passion, which you both do, for giving back to the community, that's got to be frustrating.
True.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that, those corporations, the companies that we work for actually, force us into any kind of funnel.
He's being a good boy. They did not. I'm not saying that either.
No, we were 100% supported, and we were, happy to give back in the manner we did. We just wanted to do it in a capacity that where we could have more freedom to choose the ones we wanted to choose.
Sure.
So,
Because you had a passion for it. So
Right.
when you get out in the community, Pulse happened, then you all decided you wanted to give back, but you also wanted to have your own business.
Right.
Neither one of you had any real estate experience.
No.
No, but we did, because of the corporate background, had the tools and the resources over the period of our careers to kind of learn and develop and grow the way we did.
Sure.
To run our own business. So I think in that context, we were absolutely 100% prepared. And then we chose Keller Williams because of the education and the training and the tools necessary, to go into real estate. They provided us and kind of, just watch us grow from there. So.
Well, the thing with my experience with KW Keller Williams is that if you are a realtor who's coming in, you've just gotten licensed, you don't have a big background or a big experience experience in your background, they will take you and help you with the training and the education.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times when people come out of any of the real estate schools and now all of a sudden I'm a realtor, I'm going to make $1 million, right? Or I'm a mortgage broker, I'm going to make another $1 million. All of this is BS. You go into a brokerage and you don't have that support or that training. You don't even know really how to read a contract. I mean, you learn the basics in school. You don't know how to network. You don't know how to do an open house. You don't know how to even get your first listing or your first buyer.
Right.
And so school is wonderful, like it is for all of us, because Florida is definitely super education oriented. But it's great to go into a program like, because KW has Bold, there's so many
Right.
ways
Yes.
for you all to grow in your business, and they support that.
Absolutely, 100%.
So you go into business. You went in immediately together. Did you automatically at that time brand yourselves, or how did that work?
Well, we went back and forth between should one of us do it full time, should one of us, continue working in our job.
Because you're giving up salary and benefits, right?
And
at
that
this
was
moment.
yes.
For
It's
me,
huge.
that was, a big scary part.
Well,
I kept going back and forth.
Sure.
And we finally got to a point where if this is something that we want to make a career out of, which is what we ultimately wanted to do, then we realize that we need to do it together and all at once. There's no, getting into it part-time and trying it out. This is a a career is something that we're going to retire from. So we need to go all in and head first.
I like
And that's
that
what
because
we
I
did.
think what happens on the real estate side, a lot of people think they can dabble in it.
Right.
And I'm sure that there are successful dabblers, but when you're making a big career shift, when you want to get into something, you don't want to just make the minimum amount that you can make by selling 1 or 2 homes a year.
Absolutely not.
You're giving up your lifelong career, 17 years at Publix, however long you were at Macy's. You've got these careers with benefits, you've got 401ks, you've got all of this stuff going on, and you're giving it up in order to follow your path as far as entrepreneurship and what you want to do with your life, and it's not an easy thing. So I'm amazed sometimes how people will dive in, but when they consider diving in, I consider putting your little toe in. Real estate's really not a little toe business. People think it is, but you really don't get out of it much if you're just kind of there half the time or a quarter of the time.
And people have actually, before we got into it, suggested, why don't you try it part-time? Well, in my experience doing anything, doing something part-time you don't succeed at.
I agree.
So for me, it's all or nothing. And as a team, I need him because he's half of the team and he does the opposite half of what I actually like to do. So
How does that work?
And you do
so who
everything
does?
that I don't
So
like
who
to
is
do.
the? So what is it that you like to do? Or what is it you don't like to do that Jimmy takes care of and vice versa?
Contracts, emails, following up with people. I actually do that too, but just like kind of the back end. So I'm kind of the front end to bring people in. I do the marketing, social media, kind of come up with closing videos, things to draw people in, make appointments, consultations, seal the deal, and then Jimmy takes over kind of with the contracts, make sure everything runs smoothly, work with a transaction coordinator, that kind of thing.
I love it. So you complement each
Exactly.
other.
Right.
Yin and yang.
Did you do that from your relationship in the beginning? Was it always that? Because they say opposites attract, right?
I would say so. Extrovert and introvert.
So
for sure.
who's the introvert?
Not
Really?
me.
I was going to say, I winked right before either one of you could say it. I think it's funny because I think, in my opinion, obviously you come across as the extrovert, but Jimmy's got such a great, funny, quiet sense of humor.
Totally.
And so he's engaging, but he's also calming. Like I'm kind of the out there person too. Like you and I are very much alike as far as the marketing and the out there. And I want to. Geez, I'm going to have the TED show. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to put myself out there. But we need somebody to anchor us.
Yes,
we need somebody to help us
absolutely.
with the behind the scenes and to do the things that we don't like to do, or we can't be as successful and productive as we could be with.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So the title of the show was "For Great Dreams," and I'm quoting: "Great dreams require or
Need a great team."
a great
Yeah.
team." So you go into real estate, and what do you do that is different? Other than your amazing bow ties and your marketing, there has to be something, because when somebody comes in on a team, a lot of people are like, okay, how's that going to work? Who's going to take care of me? I need one point of contact. And then how do you put your customers at ease, and then how do you get new people? I think people want to know what your marketing strategies are. And since you're collaborative people,
Yeah, so I would say marketing is, it's
Can't
just
give away all of our secrets.
I know. Don't give your. That's for the after show, Jimmy. The after show secrets.
from the beginning. The vision was to stand out among the 14,000 plus realtors in Orlando. How are you going to do that? So we wanted to set ourselves apart, be different, be original, and that's where our marketing comes in. Just have fun while you're working and work hard doing it. Work hard having fun and work hard working. And that's really where our philosophy comes from. And that building the brand will build the business. And that's kind of how we get the new people in. Through online, our websites, through the different organizations we belong to, through social media, through open houses. And then we do all of those as events, promote those events as something different to stand out in the community, and then that's how we get the new people in.
So a couple of comments. My opinion from knowing you is that you're authentic in that, and so people are super attractive. You're not trying to be anyone you're not, either one of you.
Right.
And so when you are marketing, when you're engaging, what you see is what you get. Like this is the same conversation we had at the table in the lounge It's just now being filmed on Facebook Live. You guys are authentic, and you allow yourselves to be open, and you share yourselves.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do make the mistake in marketing is that they try to be somebody they're not. And so they fail constantly and can't figure out what is going on. You guys also, we talked about closing gifts, so I'm going to say it, and then you guys can tell some of your ideas. So I want to encourage you for the second show in a row, please stop buying the cheap wine and posting that nasty wine or Chardonnay or champagne that you drank in the 8th grade and got sick on. Nobody wants to see that with your business card on it. So if you're buying a $4 bottle of wine and posting it on your social media as your marketing, we all know you're cheap. We don't want you to be cheap. We want you to reflect how amazing you are. So show it. If you can't afford it, don't put that bottle of wine on there. Now you guys take a different route.
Not only that, but they're gonna drink the bottle of wine or champagne and throw
And
the
they're
bottle
gonna
away.
hate you
They're
later.
Not gonna, display the bottle of $4 wine or
Nobody
champagne
wants
that you bought
that.
them.
I don't know how to convince people of that. Realtors, seriously, the keys, a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
The cheap wine and champagne, you're making your people sick. Stop putting that out there, because then we all make fun of you, and we don't want to make fun of you. We want you to be successful in what you're doing. You obviously closed and took care of those people, so show it. If you can't afford to show it, that's okay. Don't put that on your social media, my humble opinion. All right, but you guys do something different.
Everybody loves a blue bag or a blue box that says Tiffany's on it. That's all I'm going to say.
Right?
And you don't have to spend a lot of money to have a nice gift. You have to have something to put that champagne in. So we do just Tiffany's champagne flutes. It doesn't matter. They have a wide variety. They wrap it up. They seal it up. They put a nice thank you card with it. You put your keys in there too when you close. You give them the keys and the Tiffany's bag at the same time. Done. You can even have it engraved at Tiffany's, and that's just what we recommend doing.
But what you're doing there, and it doesn't have to be Tiffany's. This is just their idea, and I love what they do. But make it so that you've put some thought into it, and make it seem like you didn't just borrow $4 from the guy down the street. So you go buy the bottle of wine, so you go post the video of you giving your client a gift at the closing. You actually put some thought into it.
Make it fun, make it elegant, make it personal. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And I've probably ticked off the world today with those comments. I can't even imagine what I'm going to get later. I just want to encourage people, because what you're doing, it doesn't have to be Tiffany. If that's not your thing, fine. Aaron Luden does a fantastic job of branding. There's a million different gifts that you can get from him and Tracy. There are so many things that you can do, but make it about you. So think about it. Is that $4 bottle of wine reflective of you and what you want to put out there into the world? Is this going to create one of the great dreams? Are you part of the great team? I don't think so with the $3 bottle of wine from the dollar store. So think about what you're putting out there, and think about your social media. So when you guys decided to have the bow ties, right? So let's talk about the bow ties.
Okay.
How did that come into play? Because obviously it's all over your social media. It's part of your marketing. It's part of your brand, which I love. People know you buy it. They recognize you buy it. So brilliant. Why bow ties?
Well, let me. I kind of,
Oh, this is different than earlier.
Okay.
Here, we created a crazy monster here, Shawn. I don't know what's going on.
so the bow ties were going to be a lucky closing bow tie that we were going to wear at our closings and do pictures with. But then Shawn, being the person that he is, realized...
Personality that he is.
Oh, personality. We like that. Personality is better.
Personality.
I didn't say it.
Realized how much attention he was getting by just wearing them whenever he wanted.
Every day.
Every day. So when he realized how much attention he got, he decided, well, we need to start wearing these
Every day.
every day, 24/7.
Should. Oh my God, I love it.
Whether we have a collared shirt or not.
I mean, it's
It
so
could be-
good.
And
You have no
it
idea.
is great. I mean, you can be in the grocery store, you don't have a name tag on, anything. All you have is the bow tie on, and somebody asks you, where did you get that bow tie?
I agree.
And it's an instant conversation. You're not necessarily bringing up real estate, but in the conversation, it gets brought up because that's kind of what the bow tie is about. So in the sense, of course, he's right. He
Did
also
that, did that hurt? It felt like it was painful for a minute.
Not for me.
No, not for you.
I'm
Hello, I
letting
get
him
it.
know because he loves to be right, so it will help him.
This is
So,
awesome.
so yeah, that's kind of how the bow tie started.
But I love it. So Mary's right. They're statement makers. So what
Yeah.
happens is immediately people say, Ash, what's up, Ash? Bow ties are cool. Love the bow ties, Allie says. But I think what happens, immediately that's the first thing you see. So when you meet you in person, what am I going to notice? I mean, you're both coiffed beautifully. You both look great. But the first thing I see are the bow ties.
Right.
And then I see that they're different. It's
Right.
not the traditional, terrible Men's Warehouse bow tie. Nothing against Men's Warehouse. But you know the one I'm talking about that you're going to
Yeah.
wear that doesn't go with
Totally.
anything but the tux that you rented from there. These are creative. You're making a statement. You're putting it out there what your creativity is. So, and the fact that you understood how to take that to the next level and include it in your branding and your marketing, I think is super brilliant. So what do you do next? Do you begin to have your own Etsy shop? I can't even believe I know what Etsy means. Etsy shop? Do you begin to create your own? Do you get somebody who sponsors them? Like, what's the next level on the bow ties?
Those are all conversations we're having, actually.
Of course you are.
We're trying to figure the next step out, and how to market and sell the Property Boys, or whatever Property Boys becomes. But yeah, we actually have a partnership with the bow tie guy, and his actually Etsy shop is called Bow Tie Originals. If you want to go check it out.
Go check it out. How do people get I don't know anything about Etsy, that I just know the name. How do you get to Etsy? It's Etsy.com. Is it an app?
Yeah, it's Etsy.com, but it's also an app.
Okay.
So you can just download it to your phone and then create an account, and then you have access to all the shops.
So I want you to create an original Shawn and Jimmy
Yes.
bow tie.
Yes.
And that's what I think
Okay.
I would buy 100% and say
Yeah.
that I have the Shawn and Jimmy line or whatever you call it. Because I think that originality is what attracts people to you and your personalities, of course.
Can be shimmy.
It could be. He was so I have to tell you, right? So yeah, I'm not going to share any
Shimmy
crazy
tie.
secrets, but he was so nervous to come on, and I told you were going to be a natural. I
did.
knew it. I absolutely knew it.
You just had a little,
Just a little
push.
Just all I gotta do is
A little
let
liquid
me just
courage
say,
helps
you both-
everybody.
Ted and Shawn were right. They were both right.
Get twice in a day you get.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I don't know if
man.
I've heard Stacy say right in the last 27 and a half years. Ever. I'm going to get in trouble for that. She's teaching, so she can't watch this right now. All right, so what's next in real estate? Tell me the things that are going on, because you hear all these things about how it's a seller's market, the interest rates are too high, there's no inventory, and yet people are still buying homes, selling homes. So what are you seeing? What are you guys seeing in the market?
We're definitely seeing the beginnings of a shift towards a buyer's market.
Towards a buyer's market.
Right, towards a buyer's market. There's a shift in the market. It always, we've reached kind of a plateau, and we're at that point where it's starting to shift back. How far it shifts, nobody can,
Or when.
or when, nobody can determine that. But there is a shift beginning. And it's really, in how you make up for that and how you react to it is how successful you're going to be. There's always going to be shifts in real estate, but you have to know how to react when the shift happens and
Agreed.
what you're doing now to prepare yourself for that. And being so new in the market, we've only been in real estate for a year. We don't
Which
necessarily.
is insane.
Right.
You guys have to take it in for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Don't they sound like and come across like they know the market? Well, they were in an industry where they figured out how to feed their experience into their real estate world.
Was a shift 4 times a year.
Right.
That's correct. But I think you're right. So I'm fascinated by this. So you think it's going to be some sort of shift to a buyer's market. Because right now everybody says, well, I've put in 12 offers and I can't get my buyers anything. People say that the inventory's low. And yet I think you're right. I think that we are shifting right now. And I think that if you don't get ahead of the curve and you aren't creative, that's the other thing I want to talk about. You have to be creative in the way that you reach out to people. And this is for any business, it's not just real estate. but you can't just do the same things over and over again. You have to figure out how to work within the market and then change with it and adjust with it and transform with it.
Right.
And I think the realtors who are stuck in the same old patterns are going to miss out.
Right. And there's not only a shift with the market physically, but digitally as well. The market is changing with all the technology that's coming out, and you have to be able to adapt with the technology that's out there and be able to accept it and learn how to work with it, because it's changing every day. There's new products coming out every day. There's new companies presenting their products every day, and you have to know how to adapt with the technology that's out there. Things are not going to be the same today that they are tomorrow.
I agree.
And there's a myth. And I'm saying that loosely. There's a myth that realtors say that technology is going to put realtors out of business. Well, that's not true. And Gary Keller says realtors that use technology is going to put those realtors out of business. So you need to get on board. Use social media, use technology, use that as the foundation for your future business.
And so Cecily, we love you.
Hi,
She says she
Cecily.
loves-
Hi,
I absolutely
Cecily.
love her. I've had her on the show. She's phenomenal. She looks amazing, by the way, always beautiful. So I've had people on who talk about how they want to make an impact in the market. They want to bring good things to the market, but they don't know how. What would you tell a new realtor? What would you tell somebody who's struggling with their social media without giving away all your secrets, but give them like some kind of idea on what direction you think they should take, or maybe what they should reevaluate what they're doing, or some sort of self introspection on what they should do, because they're struggling. And I have a lot of realtors that I meet with that are struggling. What do you guys think? What would you do? What would you recommend?
Think of social media being your own reality show for your business.
Hello. Welcome to the TED Show.
Yes. And that's really, social media should be social. It should be fun.
Yes.
It is, again, it's like, and I heard from the last show that it has to be about consistency, and you have to do it over and over and over. And anybody who's out there in real estate knows you are successful because you are consistent at any given thing. So social media is no different. You just have to keep doing it and be creative and make your stuff stand out and do something original that no one else is doing, or do it better.
Right?
Okay, so this is where this is the background of how we came to be, and kind of our vision as far as how we want to present ourselves on social media too. And then don't just use Facebook. Use all the platforms. Use Instagram. Use LinkedIn. Use YouTube. And then if you can't do it or you don't want to do it, hire somebody, because that's the best investment you're going to invest in.
All right, so there's a little plug that I'll do for Allie McCarroll, who's been a sponsor all week. She's done a phenomenal job with mine, and she's taking it bits and pieces. Remember, it takes a village or a European Union to take care of me. So you have to have somebody who's professional that can dive in and get it. If you're not good at social media, just admit it and move on and bring somebody in who is. And
Right.
don't be afraid, because it's not like it was even 2 years ago. You're not being gouged by pricing anymore. You're not paying $25,000 for a website update. You're not paying all this money that you think you're going to pay, but you're losing out if you're missing out on the social media, and hire somebody who is an expert. All right, so we're going to share. See how fast it goes? Do you feel better? You're good, Jimmy, right? Jimmy was good today. We're going to share all of Jimmy and Shawn's contact information, how you can reach them. We're currently called the Property Boys, but all our crazy rules have changed, so we're coming up with new names. They're coming up with new names of what they're going to be called.
And you're going to hear about it. It doesn't matter.
And give us your suggestions
Yeah,
if you have
totally.
an idea.
Good idea.
Yeah.
That you
Great
think
idea.
we would love.
We have the bow tie
Let us
boys,
know.
we have the bow tie guys, we have the proper tie guys, we have all kinds of stuff. So if you think
Lots
of
of
anything,
good stuff.
clever, send it our way.
And then we're gonna share actually how you can reach out to them on Facebook, on social media, emails, websites, all of that good stuff when we share the videos. So any parting words of wisdom, anything you want to share with them before we head out for the afternoon?
Jimmy, you want to go first?
My favorite slogan, and it's somebody else's, but it's find what you love to do and do it. Whether there's a million people telling you not to do it, do it. There's nothing holding you back. You have one life to live, and you might as well do something you love.
Good Agreed.
And I'm going to add on to that. Do it your way.
Yes.
Do it your way.
Do what you love your way.
Your way. And don't let anybody tell you any different. If you are passionate about something, if you are passionate about living, growing, developing your own business, then do it. And do it your way. Don't let anybody stand in the way of how you want to live your life.
I love it. All right, you guys were great. So, Jimmy, you survived. Are you all right? Jimmy wants more airtime, Shawn. I can tell
Jimmy
this.
needs a drink.
We've created because we haven't had any yet.
I want to keep going.
All right, so we love you guys. Happy Friday. I'll be back in a little while to do Freedom Friday. But aren't they amazing? Thank you guys
Thank you for
spending
watching.
time
Thank
with
you,
me.
Ted.
We love you guys. They're awesome. Reach out to them. We'll give all their contact information. How can you not love two guys that wear bow ties, naked or not? I think that's what I heard earlier. I wasn't sure what was happening.
That's a whole different show.
That's the Ted After Show. I don't know what's happening here. But yeah, please reach out to them. They are creative and collaborative and wonderful and open. And you want to do work. You want to work with people who are like that. So love you guys.
Love you.
We love
Thank you.
Mwah. And here we go. This is why I need a producer. I have to get up and hit the finish button.